Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell by the title of this video, I am participating in the Newts Harry Potter Readathon, but I'm actually doing the Owls because I just found out about it a couple days ago. So I'm doing the Owls, which usually takes place in April, I think, and then Newts takes place in August. But I just found out about it a few days ago, so I decided I would do the Owls this month and then maybe do Newts later. We'll see how I'm feeling because I'm going for the full thing. So if you guys don't know what Owls and Newts are, it's a reading challenge. It's a month-long challenge where you're doing your wizarding examinations like you're at Hogwarts. So I thought that's like such a cool idea. So I had to try it out. But basically, there's 12 different classes, and each class has a different reading prompt where you select a book for it. And this year, there's this added little option where you can have where you can choose what you want your wizarding career to be after graduation from Hogwarts, and you have to pass a certain number of classes. So for Owls, you just have to read one book for each class that you need. I'll link the video down below that explains it in more detail, but basically I'm gonna try to do all 12 to try to go for the alchemist profession, but I'm also gonna prioritize getting a certain few books to go for the Hogwarts professor profession, which is only 7 of the 12 books. So those 7 are going to be my main priority, and then I'll try to get to the other 5 if I have time in the next month. So for a couple of these, I'm kind of stretching the rules, but you know, I don't really care. It's close enough. So let's get into it. So for Ancient Runes was the retelling. Oh man, I did this really. I'm gonna go a little bit out of order just because my books are in a really weird order. But I'll get to all of them. So these first 7 books I'm gonna do are the ones that are at the top of my list, the ones that are a must read for me this month to do the Hogwarts professor profession, which is the 7 out of 12 books. The first one is for Defense Against the Dark Arts. I'm reading it on my Kindle. It is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've heard a lot of good things about this recently. Apparently almost everybody's like read it. I just heard about it recently, so I'm giving it a shot. This was the one that had starting with an R, that was it. So it has to start with an R, Red Rising, got it. All right, let's see what's next. Next, we have for Transfiguration. This one's a bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna be doing Six of Crows. I decided this counted because some people's editions have the sprayed edges. Mine personally doesn't, but then it also has red on the cover, so I decided it definitely counts because it kind of fulfills both of them. So I'm really excited to be reading this. I don't really know anything about it. I just bought it like yesterday. But one of my friends said it's her all-time favorite book, so I decided I should read it, you know? All right. Next, we have, where is it? The next book on my list covers the care of magical creatures, which is the one that says there's a land creature on the cover. This one's also kind of a stretch, but I think I saw someone else do the same book for this same course, so I'm saying it counts. So that, with the land creature on the cover, is Strange the Dreamer. There's an animal that, you know, doesn't swim on it, so I think it counts. But yeah, Strange the Dreamer by Lanny Taylor. I have no idea if I pronounced her name right, but yeah. All I know about this is it's about an orphan boy who works at a library and something about the lost city of Weep. I know, I'm horrible. I've heard that lots of people love this book though, so I'm really excited to read this one too. All right, and then the last 4, the last 4 all kind of go together. This is counting for, I'll just go in order. You'll guess the rest of them after the first one, but this one counts as herbology, which has to have a plant on the cover, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses. You know, trees are plants, right? So I'm saying it counts. This whole series is going to be a reread for me, but I just love it so much, and I really want to annotate it this time through to take notes on it about how Sarah J. Maas does her world building. So then, I know you guys know what's coming, but I just want to say the books and what prompt they go with. But next is Ancient Runes, which is a retelling. I'd initially had A Court of Thorns and Roses as this because it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but A Court of Mist and Fury is lesser known for being a retelling, but it's kind of a retelling of the story of Hades and Persephone. So I consider that a retelling. So that's just the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've already read it, like I said before, but that one's my favorite in the whole series, so I'm really excited to reread that one. Next is Potions, which is a sequel. So for that, I'm doing A Court of Wings and Ruin. I guess it's technically the third book in the series, but that still counts as a sequel, right? So, Court of Wings and Ruin. And then last but not least, we have Astronomy, which has to have star in the title. So I will be rereading A Court of Frost and Starlight. This one's my least favorite, but you know, it's not that long. It's a quick read, and it has star in the title, so it fulfills that. So those are the first 7 books that I've decided are like my highest priority to get through in this month. And the rest of them are just kind of an added bonus because I kind of want to be an overachiever and get the alchemist profession at the end of this. So the book that will be covering the history of magic, which is a book published at least 10 years ago, will be Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Sea of Monsters. I'm currently reading the first one. And don't judge me, I have never read these books before, but my boyfriend told me I have to, so I'm really enjoying it so far, and I hope to continue it on next month with this book. The book after that will be Muggle Studies, which is a contemporary book. This is another reread for me, but I think I read it like 3 or 4 years ago, so it's been a long time, and it's one of my all-time favorite books. Like, it's one of those books that just really stuck with me because I really connected with the main character, and that is Fangirl. I am really excited to reread this book. I just loved it so much the first time. This is about a girl named Kath who writes fan fiction about her world's version of Harry Potter, essentially, and she's going off to college for the first time, and she's very quiet and doesn't really like going out to parties and all of that, but she's going to this big state school where it's kind of expected of her. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this book again. All right, next is for Divination, which is a book that takes place in the future. I'm going to be reading Cloud Atlas. I guess some of this book takes place in the past, some of it takes place in the present, and then some of it takes place in the future, from what I could tell. I watched the movie, and it was just really thought-provoking, and one of my friends said that the book is way better than the movie, so I'm really excited to dive into this book. And last but not least, we have a book that is an adult book. And this is a book that has been on my TBR list for so long, and I've started it before, and then life got in the way and I stopped, but it's a book that I have heard amazing things about, so I'm really excited to get started reading this one, you know, after I finish the first 7 on my list, which is gonna be a lot, but that's fine. Anyways, the last book is Charms, an adult book, which is the Mistborn trilogy, and I guess not the whole trilogy. I'm just going to be reading The Final Empire, which is the first book in this series, which is just kind of like a fantasy heist story. It's the best way that I could think of to describe it. I have read a good amount of it, but I'm just going to be starting back over because that was like 6 or so months ago when I stopped reading it. On my list is for Arithmancy, which has to be a book by more than one author. I don't have an actual like physical or Kindle copy of this because I'm going to be listening to it on audiobook, but that book is Illuminae? I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I've heard really good things about this, and I heard that it's a great book to listen to, so I decided to do that. So I'm really excited about that, so yeah. And that is all 12 of the books. Yeah. If you guys aren't already following me on Instagram, you should go check me out at Caffeinated Novelist. I do lots of stuff about writing, and in the future you're going to be doing stuff about reading, so if that's more your speed, then you'll definitely like that. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thanks!